Yeah. So since last couple of years, since when I've noticed that most of my clients are mostly suffering from autoimmune diseases, I had this thought in my mind that I need to do a session on this, because I thought like people actually need to get some understanding about why this is happening and why they're suffering so much. So that gave birth to this thought that I need to do the session. So welcome you all to this session. I'm Swati Dhariwal, and I'm a nature cure practitioner. I've been practicing nature cure since last 30 years. And I could say even more than that, because as a child, I started assisting my father, who was also a nature care practitioner. So I would love to assist him. And over the years, I learned about nature cure. I got more interested as I grew, and I would read all kinds of books that he had about nature cure. And it became so strongly ingrained in me that I decided that this was what I wanted to do in my life. I just wanted to take this knowledge forward to as many people as possible. So this is how my journey began. And here I am today talking to you about autoimmune diseases, which are one of the most common issues that most people are facing. So let's start with not wasting much time here. Yeah. So autoimmune disease is something which most people, like once they get the diagnosis, it actually makes people think like, okay, now this is kind of a life sentence. Like all through the life, you're going to be living with this. Like this, you're going to live with these symptoms and suffer. And there's no way out other than just taking medicines all the time. And try to help yourself by taking some immunosuppressants, because you feel like the body's immune system is working against itself. How many of you feel like that? You can just put your replies in the chat box. Yeah. Right. Yes. So this is something which is actually very overwhelming. Even initially, like when I used to get different kinds of clients, different kinds of people with different kinds of symptoms, and everybody saying like, okay, this is what I was diagnosed with. And I would really be very perplexed, thinking like, okay, what, this is something new that's coming up. So what are the different symptoms that I usually see? Like people come with a lot of abdominal pain or cramping, or people are losing patches of hairs from their head, or like people are experiencing fatigue, fever, joints pain, swelling, or there's digestive distress, bloating, diarrhea. In multiple sclerosis, people start losing coordination, or they start losing their balance. There are vision changes, or there are skin issues. So there are like literally so many different kinds of symptoms that you're talking about here, but everything clubbed under one single name. Right. Yeah. So everything clubbed under one single name. And it's just called as autoimmune disease. Autoimmune. Now the name itself makes you feel like autoimmune, like the body's immune system is attacking itself. This is what people tell. This is what they explain. Yeah. So there are so many different names. Like when you actually look at how many kinds of different autoimmune diseases can be, and there you see like more than 100 different names, but just one major category, and that is autoimmune. And the symptoms are literally different, varied in different kinds of issues. All the symptoms are completely different from each other. Like none of the symptoms are similar or same. So this is where we need to understand, like, why there are so many different names, same different kinds of symptoms, but the major category is just called with one name, and that is autoimmune disease. So now first let's try to understand what disease is. Disease is nature's healing process. Actually, from nature cure point of view, in nature cure, we understand that no disease is like the body working against itself. It's actually the body working for its own well-being. That is what we understand as disease, because it's the body's cleaning effort, or the symptoms are actually trying to clear away the waste and restore the normal functioning of a body. So this is what we understand as disease. But now I need to explain it to you, because only then you can understand very well what this actually disease is. Right. So what's the chain of, like, what is the chain of process that happens which actually ends in this thing called as disease? What is the chain of events which will actually take us towards a state of disease? So the first thing that we can talk about is wrong living habits. Okay. So initially what happens is, like, as a child, when a baby is born, first we start with vaccinations, or formula, baby formula, or over the time you start giving the baby some baby food. So all these are unnatural foods that people start their lives with. And over the time, as these are not our natural food, as these are not something which our body is designed to process, what happens is slowly the body starts becoming tired trying to process these unnatural foods. And it's not just the unnatural foods that we are talking about here, it's also the unnatural living habits that we have to face, because we are no more living in proximity with nature. We are living so much away from nature or cut off from nature that our body is not in its elements, and so it is always constantly working or overworking to process whatever that's going into the body. So what happens is, from there, the body's vitality or the body's life force starts depleting, because there's constant input of unwanted or unhealthy food that's going in, and unhealthy lifestyle that one is practicing. So there's a lot of backlog after the metabolism that's happening in the body. There's a lot of metabolic waste that starts accumulating in the body, and this leads to weakening of the energy. The energy levels start going down, and the body tries to start throwing out the body's waste. But what happens very often when the body is trying to throw out the waste, we are experiencing symptoms like a fever or a cough or a cold. Like, this is how, as a baby, these are the basic health issues that one starts with, right? But what happens is, what do we do when we have this cough, cold, or fever? Very often people end up taking medicines or taking some syrups to suppress these bodies' actions, and the toxins which the body was actually trying to throw out is kept back. It stays inside the system. So when the elimination has not happened very well, what's happening is the body's waste stays inside the body. And when the waste is staying inside the body constantly, it starts poisoning your blood, like it just starts oozing out into the system, into the blood, then it goes on to the various parts of the body. And this waste, when it reaches different parts of the body, it starts creating some kind of irritation, which ends up in a state of dis-ease. Dis-ease here means we are not at ease. We are not in our own peaceful or happy and calm, comfortable state in our body, and we are feeling discomfort of some kind. So that is what is actually disease. So this is our body's way of telling us that the body is actually not in a very comfortable state, because it has to hold on to a lot of unwanted matter inside. So let me explain this a little bit more deeper with the next slide. So when we call this disease, like there are actually 7 stages that it passes through before it reaches the stage where the body is actually trying to shut itself down. So the first stage is called enervation. Enervation is nothing but when a child is born with a healthy body, and when the child's body is being subjected to foods or vaccinations which are not really natural, the body is actually constantly trying to throw out the unnatural matter out. And in the process, it actually creates a health condition which you can call as the fever or the cold or cough or something like that. But then we try to stop them. We try to stop that process because we don't want the child to suffer. So we end up giving the child some syrups or some injections just to suppress those fever or the cough or the cold. So what's happened now is the toxins which the body was actually trying to throw out has stayed back. So this state where the toxins are staying back in your body is where we call the state of toxemia. Toxemia is nothing but the body which is being filled with toxins. So these toxins, when they keep on staying in your body, what happens is it starts giving you some kind of an irritation. Has somebody experienced the stage where you have acidity that's coming up, or maybe there's a lingering headache very often, or if you can feel that, okay, my leg is paining, I have a pain in one part of my hand, or some such irritation which is happening in the body, which is making you aware that there is something which is not comfortable with you, or it's a sign that you are not in a state of ease or comfort. So this is the stage of irritation. But then what we do is, like, what we know these days, there's only one thing that everybody understands is when there's an irritation or when there's a discomfort, there are lots of ways. Take different kinds of medicines or drugs, and you can suppress those symptoms. You can suppress that irritation, and you can still keep living on every single day, doing your work every single day. There's no need to take a break. There's no need to stop your work. You can just keep on living your life as you are living without making any changes. So we think that, okay, now we have taken care of what was not okay with me. But then the body is still not happy because the toxins are still in there. They haven't yet come out. So when the toxins have not gone out of the body, when the body is still holding on to the old matter or the unwanted matter, what's happening? It starts creating inflammation in the body. It starts creating, in different parts of the body, you can start feeling some major discomforts. So this is where, like, you can start feeling like you're having an ulceration, or you're having some, some swellings or irritations in different parts of the body, or some organs might start not functioning too well. So even at this stage, again, what do we usually do? Like, these are the stages where the body is going into a chronic stage of disease now, because the disease or the state of discomfort is going to stay on. Like if you are a diabetic, or if you are a person who's having high cholesterol, or if you are a person who's having a high blood pressure level. So what do you do? You just take medicines and you just keep on continuing everything as it is. We don't make major changes in our food or lifestyle. We just take some medicines, and that helps us to maintain the blood sugar levels or maintain the blood pressure levels, and you are still able to carry on. But then, is your body happy with this? No. The body is not happy with this because the toxins or the irritating factor, the reason behind this irritation, is still in there. It hasn't yet gone out. So when this toxic matter is still in there, the body has somehow to tell you that it is not happy. So it gives you different symptoms. Constantly, it keeps you giving different symptoms. But we still keep on taking the medicine day in and day out. When the symptoms become a little bit more or a little bit louder, we take a little bit more of medication and we still continue. So that leads to ulceration, and that leads to the next stage, induration, and then that leads to the next stage where the body's organs start failing. The body starts to the body decides, like, okay, now I need to shut down and I need to start my winding process up, because this guy or this person doesn't seem to be taking care of its health, his or her health, and I need to shut shop and pack up. So this is how the disease, the state of disease, keeps continuing, getting worse, worse, and worse, because we haven't yet looked into what has actually caused this stage of dis-ease. What has actually caused this stage of discomfort in our body? So, am I clear until this? Like, do anybody have any doubts here? Any questions here?
What is the exact meaning of sixth stage in duration?
In duration, after the ulceration, what starts happening is, when there's an ulceration happen, there's a lot of irritation that's going on in one particular part of the body. And so that part of the body starts hardening because of the constant exposure to the acidic or the irritating factor that's there in that part of the body. So it starts becoming a little bit harder. Okay. And even if at this stage we don't try to reverse, then then the body will just go on to the next stage where it actually becomes even more worse. It just starts decaying, and it starts like actually it's like, the body deciding that I need to start my winding up process, right? So let's try to. So in nature, like in nature cure, what we believe is, there could be thousands of names of diseases, there could be thousands of kinds of diseases, there could be thousands of kinds of symptoms, but still, for us, there's only one disease. Only one disease. Can you comprehend that? Like, does it really find, like, do you find it really very difficult to comprehend that? How can that be possible, that there could be only just one disease? But yes, this is what we believe in. We believe that there's only one cause of disease, and that's nothing but when the body has accumulated a lot of toxic matter, when the body has accumulated a lot of metabolic waste, or when the body has accumulated a lot of chemical waste, it is not able to throw out, it is not able to remove, then this is where the body is getting poisoned, or the body is carrying a lot of toxic waste, and this is where the irritation or the disturbance in the body has started. So this is where we call that a person is facing a state of dis-ease or discomfort, because there's irritation, because there's something which is not okay with the whole body, because the body is not happy, because it has to carry something which it actually does not want to carry. So that is nothing but toxins. And the toxins, the state of a body which is carrying a lot of toxins, is what we call it as toxemia. And the reason for this toxemia is what we actually need to look at, because without this, you can never understand why we are actually suffering so much. What is actually behind all this suffering? There has to be something really very, very important. Yes, I know most people nowadays have got to understand this. Yes, lifestyle matters. There are lifestyle also results in health issues, and the food habits also results in health issues. But then we need to know this in its proper clarity so that we are actually able to take care of our health. In nature, when actually if you look in nature, we human beings are the only creatures who need help from some other human being to tell them what they need to do to take care of their health. Or there could be the domesticated animals which need support from us humans again. But if you look in nature, look at the wild animals, look at nature on its on the whole. No creature needs any other creature to tell them what is it that they need to eat, or how much they need to eat, or how they need to live, or how they need to heal themselves. Like if any animal is not feeling comfortable in its body, instinctively the animal knows like it needs to stop eating, it needs to go and rest. The animals, they just go rest, lie down, and they take their time off a day or two. They try to vomit out whatever they have eaten, and then they try to heal themselves. So actually they don't really, this is the major reason why they don't really feel actually face so many major diseases like we actually face. The human beings are the only creatures who have so much of discomfort, or so many diseases, or so many types of issues in their body or in their lives, that they are constantly trying to fight, or they're constantly trying to solve some problem or the other in their lives. So the reason behind all this is nothing but the way you are living, the way you are eating, and what is going inside your system, what is going inside the body, in what form it is going inside the body. Is it something which the body is compatible with, or whether it is not compatible for the system? So now, before I explain all that, we also need to know like what are the different major reasons which are actually leading to autoimmune diseases. Like as I told you, it's the lifestyle, wrong lifestyle and the wrong food habits that take you or cause autoimmune diseases. But when it comes to diseases, but when it comes to autoimmune disease, the major reason that I have understood, like when I speak to my clients, always when I get their history of their health, what I get to know is like many people tell me like after the COVID, like I started having these symptoms, and when I got it checked, I had this autoimmune disease. Or there are small children who by the age of 3, by the age of 4, start having autoimmune health issues. So I am able to connect them with the vaccines that we are taking. The vaccines that are going into the body, the vaccines, they carry so much of toxic overload that the body is not actually happy in processing them. So that's one of the reasons that I can see. There's another reason that I can see majorly is the root canals, or the mercury fillings, or the silver amalgam fillings that we do in our dental work. This is one of the major causes where there's constant leaching of toxins or poison that's being leached into our body. And this is a constant source of irritation for our body. So there's another reason that we can see: years of eating of food which is actually highly processed, or which contains lots of chemical additives, or chemicals in them. It can be the coloring, or it can be the preservatives or additives or whatever, anything which is being introduced into a food just to preserve it for a longer time. is going to cause irritation in your body also, because constantly when you're eating this kind of food, the chemicals are being introduced into your body constantly, day in and day out. And these chemicals, like the body, the speed at which you are putting in these chemical laden foods is so fast that the body does not even have enough time to throw them out again. The body does not have enough time to process it and remove it from the system. So when this is constantly going to stay inside the system, this is going to be the cause for irritation. This is going to be one of the causes for constant irritation. And one more reason is, in today's world, everybody is constantly so busy. Constantly there's so much of stress. Constantly, whether they actually are in need of so many things in their lives or not, whether they actually need to do so many things or not, but constantly everybody seems to be so busy doing so many things that we actually don't have enough time to rest, the real kind of rest. So what's happening is, again, the body does not have enough time to process. The body does not have enough time to relax, wherein the body can process what's happening, what's going in, and try to throw it out. So these are the major reasons why somebody is landing themselves in a state of autoimmune condition. So, okay, before this, I need to explain better. Let me take a moment. Okay, so let me tell a little bit more about this toxemia. So as I told, as I was telling, it's the wrong lifestyle habits and the wrong kind of foods. So when this is happening constantly, the body is constantly producing toxic matter. And whenever the body finds a situation where it can actually throw out the toxins, whenever the body finds a time and space available to itself, it tries to create a health condition. And whenever this condition arises, it is actually trying to throw out the toxins. Like whenever you have a fever, the body is actually trying to raise the temperature in the body. It is trying to create this lot of pain in the body so that you actually take rest, so that it can actually remove all the toxic matter from the body. But then we are educated these days to say actually try to not allow the body to remove the toxins. We actually take some pills so that the fever does not continue, the temperature goes down, and the toxins stay back in the system. But then we don't realize that the toxins are staying back in the system. We actually feel like now, as the fever is gone, I'm all right, my body is in a comfortable state, but then we actually don't realize the toxins have actually stayed back in the system. So if this is going to happen constantly, then the toxins are going to increase over the time. And this increased overload in your system is going to result in the state of autoimmune in our body. So being healthy, or how can I actually take care of my health? How can I actually get out of this situation called the state of autoimmune condition? How can somebody get out of this state of discomfort that they have to constantly face? So it's not at all a big rocket science. It's a very simple science. We only have to create a situation, or we only have to create a biological environment for the body wherein the body can actually take care of itself. Our body has a system in itself with which it can actually heal itself. Like nobody has to tell our body that this is what it needs to do. Even without me telling my body, it knows that it needs to be, the heart needs to beat, the digestion has to be done, the blood has to be circulated. So all these systems are happening even without my brain telling it that it needs to do all these actions. So this shows that the body has been instilled with a kind of a software with which it can actually take care of itself. But then, why isn't it taking care of itself? Because we actually are interfering with its activities day in and day out. As per nature, in nature, if you look at any other creature there, every living creature knows how to procreate itself, knows how to take care of itself. It also knows how to, like, no, none of these creatures need to be told like how they need to regenerate, like how they need to bring in other offsprings into this world, or how they can actually heal on themselves. None of the creatures need to be told. The body can actually do all these processes on its own, because it's the system is already set in there. So healing is our body's default mode. Our body can heal itself. The only thing that we need to do is we just need to create the comfortable or the right environment in which it can thrive and heal. So once you learn what the process is, and once you learn to trust the process, the process is so simple that the body, it just starts thriving and healing on its own. You just need to stop interfering in the process. And every single step matters. It's not like, okay, I'm taking care of one part, and so the rest of the things, if I'm not able to take care of, it might still work. No, you have to take care. You have to be seriously working on every single step. And that is how the overall healing is going to happen. So, as though this is not a very complicated system, as though it is not something which is really very overwhelming that people cannot understand. But the only thing why nobody is able to follow these is because mostly people just don't know about this. Like, people actually just don't know that healing is possible even without any external support. Healing is possible without us introducing anything from outside. We only need to remove things which are the sources for the poisoning. We only need to support the body's elimination. We only need to align with the way the body has been designed to live, the body has been designed to function. The moment we align with nature's essentials, the body can take care of its own healing and it can thrive. So, am I clear until now? Is there any doubt on this? If anybody has any questions, you can put them in the chat box. What's the meaning of? Okay, we can get to that later. Somebody is asking about nutritional deficiencies and imbalances. Yes, a very good question. This nutritional deficiencies are, again, we'll get to that as I speak about the essentials. Wherever it might be needed, I'll cover that too. So I hope until now I have been clear. So let me now tell you, what can you do to actually allow or support your body to heal on its own? Would you all like to know that? Right. Awesome. Yeah. So everybody would like to know that. So I'm really happy that everybody is following. Thank you so much for that response. Yes. So we only need to introduce the 9 essentials that our body needs to create that environment where the body can start its own healing, the body can do its own healing. So before I get to that, I would like to explain something here. Again, this is something which I had already spoken about, but I would like to elaborate a little bit more on that. In nature, if you look around, every living being, every animal, every bird, every tree, every plant, they are all living in a particular way that they have been designed to live like. Every creature in nature knows exactly what their food is. They instinctively know what is dangerous for them. They instinctively know how to take care of themselves. So we human beings, though we are the most sophisticated of all the creatures as we understand, as we think ourselves to be, why are we the only creatures who are so full of confusion where we don't exactly know what our actual food is? What is our natural food? When you look around in nature, all over the world, in different countries, people are eating differently. Some people are vegetarians, some are vegans, some are omnivores. People are eating even animals. People are eating also the plants. So what is it is like many people think we are designed to eat even the animals and the plants. But then, is it really like that? We have to really understand. And then how can we really understand that? Like, how do we really understand like what is our real food? Uh, Here I can just cite an example. If you just put a cow into a cage and if you just starve it for 4 days, do you think if you're going to feed the cow with meat, it is going to end up eating the meat just because it does not want to die? Will that ever happen? No. The cow will die, but it will not eat meat because to the cow's eyes, the meat never ever looks like food. It doesn't recognize it as food. So it just does not know that maybe eating meat can give me the same nutrients that my body is needing here. My body can get its protein, its minerals, its vitamins through this meat. It doesn't know that. It doesn't recognize it as food. So it ends up not eating the meat. Same way, if you put a lion into a cage, don't feed it for some days, starve it, and then you introduce some fresh, juicy green grass to it. Is the lion going to end up eating the grass just because it needs to survive? Even though even though the grass is going to give the same nutrients, the grass also has those nutrients in there. But then, is the cow going to recognize it as its food? No, it doesn't. The lion just does not recognize grass as its food. So it's not going to eat, and it might even end up dying, but it is not going to eat the grass at all. But then why is it that we human beings can be given even plastic designed as food? It can be made to look like food. It can be covered with some spices, and we might end up eating even that. And we would never even, our body or our tongue will not even give a bit of an iota of sign that this is not our food. We are not supposed to be eating this. Like, why is it that my body does not recognize, or why is it that my body does not know the difference between food and non-food? The reason behind this is hundreds of years of consumption of different kinds of foods which may not actually have been human food. So our system is so confused that just by, even though we eat just anything, people are eating even plant-based foods, people are eating even animal-based foods, and still they think that they're eating the right kind of food. They're thinking that this is what the human body was designed to consume, and we are consuming it. But then, just because the first reason, or the first confusion that we have landed ourselves in is, what is our food? This major confusion has led to the first, the initial step where the body has started facing discomfort. The body has started resulting in feeling the state of disease, because we just don't know what our food is. We might not be eating the right food that is compatible with my body, or I might be eating the right food which is compatible for my body. I just don't know. I just eat whatever I have seen in my family, I have seen my community eating. So I think, yes, this is the right food, and I end up eating that. But then I still am suffering. I still have symptoms which are not comfortable. I still suffer day in and day out. I still have symptoms or the pains, the aches that I just don't know how to handle. So I think somewhere we have to start questioning this first. The first question that we need to ask ourselves is, what am I eating? Whatever I'm eating, is that my real food or not? Do you think you'll ask yourselves this question? Would you all like to ask yourselves this question? Yes. So you would like to ask yourselves this question. And when you just close your eyes, ask yourselves this question now. And please tell me what's the answer that you're getting. Can you just put there in the chat box whatever answer that you're getting here? Like when you ask yourself, what is my real food? Awesome. Somebody says fruits. Anybody else gets any answers here? Or is it just one person getting an answer here? Don't worry. I'm not going to tell you that whatever you're thinking is wrong or right. It's perfectly okay to type there whatever's coming to your mind. It's perfectly okay, because only when you are going to share what your understanding is, then I can give you my understanding, wherein we can actually try to understand how actually we can find out what our real food is. Awesome. So sun cooked, okay. All the answers are perfectly compatible with what I'm going to speak here. So let me move on and let me just explain, so that people who don't really understand or know how to find out what their food is, they can understand or know how they can find out what their food is. Now, if I tell you that you need to find out what your real food is, what is the food that nature has designed for your body, how will you find that out? Yes, the answers I'm getting is whole foods, or sun cooked and directly from nature. Awesome. So now just tell me, if I tell you, like you need to find out, like if I was a small child and I was out there in the forest where there's no civilization, no shops, no mom, no kitchen, nothing. If I'm out there in nature and if I'm hungry, what will I eat? What will I eat if I'm hungry? Somebody's saying I'll eat fruit. Okay. So now by chance, I can't see any fruits around, but I see a lamb. If I see a small chicken in front of me and I'm hungry, so I should just pick it and eat it, right? If I'm hungry, this is what I need to do, right? So just close your eyes and just imagine that you're picking that chicken and just eating it. Are you able to do it? There's no gas, there's no spices, there's no cooking utensils. So you just have to eat what is available in front of you. So will you be able to eat it? Okay, so somebody says can't process it in the raw form. So without cooking, you can't eat the chicken or the lamb. Okay. To me, I might not end up eating the lamb or the chicken, because when I see the chicken or the lamb, I actually only feel like playing with them. When I look at them, I don't feel like, okay, just because I'm hungry, I can just lift it and put it in my mouth. I don't feel like doing so. So I don't think that could be my food. And I can't even imagine myself, tearing it up and taking it up and just, eating with my bare mouth. I'm not able to imagine that. So I might not eat it. Okay, now let me just walk a little bit further. I might just see some grains out there. Maybe I can see some farmland where some wheat is growing, some rice is growing, some dals are growing. So now, as I'm very hungry, do you think I can go and just pluck the grains from there and just eat it as such? Am I going to end up eating like that? If it is really in a very tender form, I might enjoy chewing on it because the milk might taste good. But then when I look at the grains out there in the farm, it is not actually going to attract me. It is not really going to make me feel like, yes, I need to go and eat that. Because it is not designed in a way which it can attract me at all. Now, by chance, I'm still walking further. And if I see a mango on a tree, and if it is ripe, a green, lush green tree and a yellow mango on it, as I can differentiate, my eyes can differentiate between colors, that yellow color will attract my attention. Don't you think so? The yellow color is going to attract my attention. So I'll go closer to the tree. I'll want to touch it. And because the shape is so good, I would like to touch it. When I touch it, it's going to feel a little soft because it is ripe already. And when I just bring it closer to myself, the aroma from the fruit is going to reach my nose, and the smell, the sweet smell of the ripe fruit will immediately make my mouth water. And the watering in my mouth will instinctively make me bite into the fruit. And the moment I bite into the fruit, the taste, the sweetness, the deliciousness will immediately make me feel so happy that I'll want to eat the whole fruit. Don't you think so? So something which is palatable, something which I can attract my eyes, and something which when I touch, it feels like something which I need to eat. This is where I can understand that this could be my food. So this does not happen with grains, because even with the grains, when they are really very tender, when they still have the milk form, I may chew on them, I may enjoy them as such, but once they are ripened and when they are dried, then I cannot chew on them and I cannot make that as my whole meal. And like when I smell them, it's not going to make my mouth water. So nature has given me my five senses with which I can actually make use of. I can make use of my five senses and I can actually try to identify what could be my food. So when I look at a chicken or a lamb, the smell does not make my mouth water. The chicken or lamb that people today eat make their mouth water only because it has been covered with spices. It has been processed, it has been cooked. Only then it becomes palatable. Otherwise, it is not palatable as it is. So when I just take it in my hand, whatever I consider as my food, it should actually, the smell should attract and it should make my mouth water. And only then when I eat it, my body gets the information that what's coming in is something which is my own food. The body is able to recognize it. The live enzymes in the fruits or the vegetables that are palatable to us, the body is able to recognize the live enzymes present in those live fruits and veggies, and it is able to produce the similar enzymes that needs to break it down and process it and metabolize whatever is coming in. So every single living being is carrying the same vitamins and the minerals and the protein and the calcium and the carbs and whatever, name anything and everything. And every single living creature has all that. But that does not make every living stuff that's available on earth does not become your food. Just like, the lion does not eat the grass, even though the grass is going to give the minerals and vitamins or the nutrients, whatever the body is going to need. But then the lion's body is not going to be able to process it because the lion's body has not been designed to process it. Same way, our body has been designed to process certain kinds of foods, and nature has equipped us with certain, the five senses with which we can actually understand what could be my food. So when it comes to the grains, they are still plant-based, and if I process it, my body can still take it, but in a very small quantity. I can't eat too much of grains. I can't keep eating grains 3 times a day, and my body will not be happy with it because this might end up creating too much of backlog. Okay, so this is how you can understand what your food is. So let's begin our journey of understanding what can help you stay healthy from here, because the most confusing idea that's going around all over the world is about food, because people just exactly don't know what their food is. And that is where the problem starts. Just because you don't know what your food is, that is where you start consuming stuff which is not at all compatible with our body, with our system, and the body finds it really difficult to keep on processing it day in and day out, constantly. And if you see, like these days, there's so much of abundance of food kind of stuff that's being sold out there in packages. There's so much available in abundance that we find it easier to open them up and eat them than trying to bring in and eat a fruit. It's become that easy. So there's constant input. Like we are all so well to do that we can also buy as much as we want. So we buy as much as we want and we eat as much as we want. And though we are eating all through the day, though we are eating 7 to 8 times a day, though people end up eating constantly, still we lack energy. Still we seem to be in need of more energy. Like constantly people keep complaining about becoming tired by the evening, becoming very lethargic by the evening. So this shows that even though you're eating so much, the body is not having enough energy. The body is not getting enough uh, nutrients that it actually needs, because it has to eat food like stuff which actually is not our food. So that is where our journey starts with. So the understanding of what our real food is the first thing that we need to understand. And from here, we'll go on to the other nature's essentials that we need to introduce in our lifestyle so that our body is able to function or remove the stuff which is not needed in our body and keep itself in a healthy state. I hope I'm clear here. So the 9 essentials that I've been talking about until now are here in front of you. So now when you look at this air, sun, water, earth, space, what's all this? Like this is already there everywhere around me. I'm still sick. I'm still not feeling good. I still have the symptoms that is troubling me all through the day, is what you would be telling me. Yes, I understand that. But then we have to understand one thing. I do have air in my home, which I breathe constantly in and out all through the day, all through the night. But then, am I sitting 24/7 in an air-conditioned room? I need to ask myself this question. Do I ever go out in nature and actually breathe the fresh air that has been processed by the trees, which has been recycled by the trees and has been let out into the atmosphere for me to breathe? So am I going and getting that fresh air all the time? I need to ask myself this question. Because the way we live these days, like most people, they don't even have the, like, we live so much cut off from nature. We live so much in enclosures, like either we are living in closed rooms or we are working in closed offices, or we get out of the rooms and we get into closed cars. So constantly we are living in controlled environments where only processed air, the air which is coming through the air conditioners, are what we are breathing. But then this air is not what has been processed by nature. So they are not a source of the fresh what do you say, the gases that my body might be needing. My body might need the oxygen that has been processed and freshly produced by the trees. But then am I getting that? So we need to ensure that, like, we are the only creatures who are living in such closed places, or spaces where there's no source of fresh air which can be which is already constantly coming in. So when you look at the other creatures out there, the animals, the trees, the birds, like they are 24/7 out there constantly getting their supply of fresh air. So that could be one of the reasons why they don't fall so sick so often and I fall so sick so often, because I'm not living out there in nature 24/7, getting the fresh source of air that my body needs for its constant metabolism, for its functioning, for its well being. So I need to introduce that in my daily life. That's where, when I say air, then this is what you need to do. Try to sleep all through the night without the air conditioners. Open the windows so that all through the night, when you are sleeping and resting and relaxing, when the body is actually doing all its eliminatory process or its cleansing process, its detoxing process, it gets that fresh supply of oxygen. It gets that fresh supply of air. And now next comes the sun. Right, we have touched the mark of 1 hour, so I'll try to finish off fast. So next, again, that goes the same for the sun. Are we going out there and getting the sun every single day? Most people don't go into the sun, and most people are afraid to go in the sun because it can damage their skin, because there are ultraviolet rays in the atmosphere, and that can actually burn their skin and end up creating skin cancer in their body. But then all this is unwanted information. Actually, our body needs the sun. Without the sun, our body cannot process the toxic stuff so fast. So if you want to remove the toxins from your system at the fastest rate, I would suggest you go out there in the sun and get as much sun as possible directly on your skin. So whenever it's possible, wear least clothes, get skin on your front part of the body, the back side of the body. The more sun you're going to get on your skin, the faster the body is able to will get the chance to break down the toxic matter and move it to their respective outlets. So we need to get that sun directly. So next is water. When I speak about water, it's not the RO water or the water that you're drinking from the taps. I'm talking about the water that you get through your fruits and vegetables, because this is the water that our body can recognize as water. So if you get this water directly from the source, from the fruits and the vegetables, the body is going to be really happy. So the more fruits and vegetables you're going to eat, the more fresh water you are going to get. Next comes the earth. So you have to be in proximity with earth as much as possible. If we are constantly going to wear chappals and shoes and never touch the soil at all, you are never going to get that grounding that the body needs to take care of its inflammation. The moment your body the feet touches the soil, the body immediately starts getting a grounding that it is constantly in need of, and the body can actually start processing its inflammation. The inflammation can start going down, the body can start feeling more calmed down and in its elements, and it can actually support in the detoxing process. So when we talk about space, it's about fasting. So you know a lot about, like, everybody has heard about intermittent fasting or eating less number of times, because if you constantly keep eating, the body is constantly being dumped with something called food, which might not even be your food, and so there's no time or space available for the body to process all that. So you need to introduce some kind of a fasting in your daily lifestyle. And next is living foods, which I've been talking about. Like, you need to recognize what your actual food is and eat your natural food. Only then your body is going to be able to thrive well, because it will get the kind of nutrients it needs in the shortest or least usage of your vital energy. Like, the body will have to use less of its life force to process that food. So that way it is going to conserve on its energy or its vital force or its life force, and that saved conserved vital energy or force is going to be used for cleaning and repairing and healing of your body. Again, the next is rest and sleep. You need to get proper 8 to 9 hours of sleep to begin with, until your body gets into a state of a more healed state. Until then, you need that much of sleep, so that is when the body is actually doing its repair work and its healing work. And we need to see to it that we go to bed as early as possible after the sun has set, because the moment the sun has gone down, our body also starts shutting down. We don't realize it, just because we have so many lights and we have so many instruments to keep us busy. But then actually, the moment the sun has gone down, the body also wants to shut down. So see to it that you can go to bed as early as possible after the sun has gone down, so that you can sleep all through the night, 8 to 9 hours, and you can wake up early in the morning before the sun has risen, and actually go out in atmosphere, go out in the nature, and get the rays or get the energy from the rising sun. Next comes movement. Without any kind of exercise, or without really walking for 20,000 steps, 10 to 20,000 steps, your body cannot move the toxic matter out of your system. Like, this is very, very important. Most people don't really have enough time or energy left in themselves every single day for movement. But movement is something which most people are lacking in, because without you moving, the lymphatic system cannot throw the toxic waste out of the system. So movement of any kind, especially if it is yoga, or if it is a swimming, or if you go for a sport like a badminton, or maybe walking, jogging, running, movement should be part of your daily routine, just like how food is your part of daily routine. Like, you don't allow a day to go by without eating. Same way, you should not allow a day to go by without movement, because what has gone in, and what has been used, and what has been ready to be kept aside as to be removed, has to be removed. And for that, without movement, it's not really going to happen properly. So you need to get into this habit of moving your body. And last but not the least is mental poise. So try to keep yourselves in such a state of mind that the more calm you are, the more your body is going to be able to process all that's gone into your system. Very often, if your system is highly disturbed, it's not going to be possible for you to stay calm, because the irritation inside the body is going to be reflected in your irritation outside. But still, you need to try to tell yourselves, and you need to try to create a situation or the space for yourself wherein you are able to practice mental poise or some meditation or calming down, so that your nervous system gets that space and time where it can calm down. So only when your nervous system is in a calm state, your body can actually have that time and space and energy to process whatever has already gone inside, and it can get that space where it can throw out the toxic matter. So these are the 9 essentials. These are the 9 essentials which are very, very crucial for your well-being. These are very, very important. Not even one single essential from this can be eliminated or can be taken less seriously. Every single thing has to be introduced in your daily lifestyle, so that your body is able to remove the stuff which it has to deal with day in and day out, which it doesn't need. Only then the body is going to be able to thrive and be disease free. Now, when you start this journey, the moment you start introducing these 9 essentials in your lifestyle, the moment you start following the right way of life that nature has designed us to follow, what's going to happen is the body is going to start removing the toxic matter from the system. So when the body is going to start removing the toxic matter from the system, it's not always going to be a very comfortable process. The process can be difficult. The symptoms can be challenging. They are nothing but the symptoms that you're already facing. So you might be facing the same symptoms again, and they can again get confusing. You might think like, okay, I'm still suffering. So this can lead you to get into a state of fear, and you might end up taking some pills or medicines to suppress those symptoms again. So here, this is where you actually need to be very careful, because you need to know how to take care of these crisis that you are going to face during the journey of elimination of waste or the toxins from your body. And when these toxins are going to leave your body, you might face a fever, you might have a cough or a cold, or you might have a headache or some body pain or some loose bowel movements. It can be different ways through which the body is going to throw the toxins out. Sometimes people end up getting a lot of skin rashes. Like recently, there was a client, like the issue was something else. The issue was majorly with the what to say, menstrual problems. But when the healing crisis started, the body was bringing up rashes. The body was trying to remove the toxins through the skin. So there can be different kinds of symptoms that are coming up, which can confuse you. But then you need to understand any action that the body is taking, it is actually taking to remove the toxins from the system. So you need to support your system through that process and allow the body to go through the whole process of removing the toxins. And once it has removed the toxins, you will see that you now feel better, and now you feel more healthier and more stronger. And yes, this is where my role comes in. Like if somebody is going through a healing crisis, or if somebody is trying to walk on this path, and when they are facing these healing crises, they might feel frightened, they might not know actually how to go through these processes. So this is where a nature cure practitioner's role comes in. Somebody who can understand the system, how the body is functioning. So this is where, like, we can handhold you, I can handhold you through this process, and I can guide you through this process and help you to get through this and help your body to get into a better state or a more healed state. So this is where my role comes in. So the symptoms may intensify as the waste is exiting, but this is natural and this is temporary. It's not a permanent thing, but it might feel to you that this is a permanent thing, but it is not. When the toxins have been removed, the body is going to start feeling better, and you are not getting worse. You might start feeling that you are getting worse, but you are not getting worse. You are actually getting better. The body will get better with every healing crisis that you are going to face. So last but not the least, your body is not broken. It is wise, it is whole, it is capable. Your body is not fighting you, but it is fighting for you. Because in any given state, the life force in every living being will see to it that you still keep on continuing to be alive, to be living. Whatever kind of food you feed to the body, whatever kind of circumstances you live in, the body is constantly still trying to do just one thing. Still, somehow, even though there's so much of toxic stuff going in, it somehow tries to see to it that you are still living every single day. So the body is always fighting for you. It is not fighting against you. So we need to understand this, and we need to support our body. The moment you start supporting your body, the body is going to do what it needs to do, and that is heal itself, clean itself, and thrive, because this is the vehicle that is going to help you live this life to its fullest. So if you are going to care for this body is going to care for you. This body is going to support you through the life that you really want to live. So if this is what you are looking out for, to live a life of abundance, to live a life of full health, no pain, and full energy, then you need to respect the needs of your body and see to it that you provide the body with those foods and those circumstances so that it can heal itself and stay in a very healthy state. So thank you so much for the patient listening. If you have any questions, I can take them up now. You can ask your questions. We can just finish in 5 minutes. Yeah, so there's a question here, like if you have previous dental fillings, yes, it's better to get them removed if you want to actually stop the constant poisoning that's happening in your system. Yes, there's a question somebody was asking to how to reverse this. This is what I spoke about now. Like you need to introduce the 9 essentials in your daily routine so that you are able to uh, help your support your body to heal itself and clean itself. Yes, it's possible to reverse MS, but you directly don't go into a dry fast. You first have to hydrate your body. Once the body is hydrated, the body will give you signs when it needs to be fasting. You should not decide when to fast on your own until your body gives you a sign that it is ready for a fast. uh, very often people don't really hydrate well, people don't really prepare their body well, and they go into fast, and that is not the right way. There's a process because we've been eating too much of dry food all through these years, so we need to hydrate ourselves first. And when the body is ready for a fast, it'll give you a sign, it'll give you indications when it needs to be fasted. That is when you should start your fast. Yes, the adrenal glands can be healed. The whole body, every single part of your body is part of the whole system. So the moment you provide the right inputs, the whole system is going to be cleaned, whether it is your glands, whether it's your heart, whether it's your blood or whatever. Every single part is going to can heal on its own. Yeah, somebody's saying that they have tried, but the symptoms are still going on, are there. You need time. You need to give your body time because we have been living this kind of a lifestyle for so many years now, and there could be certain reasons, like there could be some vaccines that you may have taken. You may have introduced certain um, poisons or chemicals into your system which is constantly in there irritating the system. So this resource has to be removed first, and then you need to make all these changes in your lifestyle, and that is how your body can heal. Yes, vitamin B12 deficiency can also be taken care of just by following a healthy lifestyle. You don't need to go for supplements. Yes, thank you so much, everybody. It was wonderful sitting here and explaining to you about autoimmune diseases. Um, I really hope that I have tried to put this as clearly to you out as possible. And I hope I made you all understand what an autoimmune disease is. And I've also showed you how you can try to heal from this disease. So I hope you all follow these, try to introduce these 9 essentials in your daily life and heal yourselves and get back your vibrant health. And you all live very healthy and a happy life. And if anybody needs any support further in their healing journey, I can share my details in the group, in the WhatsApp group, and you can contact me through the uh, WhatsApp or whatever the information I'm going to give in the WhatsApp group. You can connect me through them. So thank you so much. Thank you. Does anybody else have any question, or we can close the session? Yes, Mansi, you have a question. You would like to ask a question? Yes, Mansi. Okay, so I think you can all put your questions in the group now because it's almost past 8. So let's try to wind up here. So thank you so much for your patient listening. See you all in the next session. We'll soon be doing such sessions with different health issues so that you can get more clarity on how you can heal from different kinds of diseases. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.